of the FTA because there was something we weren't happy about, but that's a different story. And what we're doing is working to actually bring this marketplace forward because it's a viable finance option. I know I have to really speed through this. I'm not going to talk about ISAs or pensions because I've raised it already. If you want details of that, then Davin and I will be around later on to talk about that. What I want to talk about is the core differences between equity and peer-to-peer lending. Again, I'm sorry if you can't see it at the back. This band is equity, and we've got the main core details of equity is investors get a share of the equity in the company itself. It can be 100% funded of value, but our investors don't really like that. We can talk about that later. ISA is not available. It's perceived higher risk, higher return because you're at the bottom of the food chain if that project doesn't happen. And there's no charge on asset because you own a share of the company that owns the asset. Yeah? On the peer-to-peer side, which is the other side, investors make a loan for a set return over a set period of time. Typically 70% loan to current value. We don't do GDP. There is the ISA wrapper, the IF ISA wrapper available, so that any interest you earn remains tax-free. It's perceived lower risk, lower returns, and there is a charge on the asset. The investor journey, I'm literally going to run through the investor journey and the fundraiser journey, just to give you a flavour. The thing to remember is everything we do is simple, and we try and stick to that as best we can. As an investor, you must register on the site. You're not allowed to invest without going through that process. What is that process? It's KYC, know your customer. We need to understand your knowledge when it comes to investing and property. We need to understand what type of investor you are. So, are you a sophisticated investor? Are you a high net worth? Or are you a regular investor? Those types of things fall under KYC. And we also have AML, anti-money laundering checks. For anyone who set up a bank account, this should not be a surprise to you. Okay? So you set that up, you go through the process, and once you've been through that, you can actually access all the projects that are available. You can see the history of past projects. So you can see how past developers have structured their projects and things like that. You can also see the current projects that are listed, that are open for funding or coming soon. And you get to see the documentation behind it. You get to ask questions of the fundraisers, and you get to engage in that conversation with other investors. Because one of the things for me is when you are fairly new to property, again, this comes back to you only know what you know. So I might not know every single question to ask if I was building a ship, right? But there might be someone who's invested, who's following that thread, who will ask questions because they know a lot more about ships than I do. That could be with a development project, a buy-to-let, a conversion, a new build, anything. But it allows you to engage. So you select the project that you want, you make an investment, and the final piece of that is actually then the associated paperwork. If it's loans, there's a loan agreement. If it's equity, there's a shareholder agreement with articles. So you go through that process. Everything's done online. And you have a record of it online. So you're starting to build your portfolio online. The project goes live, and then there are investor days, there are site visits, webinars. Every developer is different. But these things are available because there is the invest while learning element. So it allows you to understand what is happening on live projects. There are many, many benefits. Here are just some. Spread your risk across multiple projects. Join a property community with pretty detailed experience of the market. Build your investment portfolio and wealth online, and choose where you want to play. The fundraiser journey, 3 simple steps. The first is the first form, and that's literally just asking about the project itself, a little bit about you and other directors of the company, and also about the company itself. Okay? I appreciate that the company doing the raise might be an SPV, but what we'll do then is look at the other companies that you're involved with. Okay? It just gives us a flavour of what the project's about, high-level financials, the timelines. Do we think it will work with the crowd? Because there's quite a lot of work that goes into getting this information sorted. We are a regulated firm, and so we have to make sure that information is provided a certain way. We check the details, and we do our due diligence. We will not always share what we do, because we want you to actually go through that information yourself. The worst thing I could do is say, I've done it all, so you can just invest. That doesn't help anybody. So we've taken a view not to do that. So that's the first stage. You package the project is going to work. We're really excited about it. We do all the paperwork, get it ready, get it on the site, and then we go. The next stage is promotion. We'll work with you to promote it and to help build your brand and start that conversation online. I appreciate a lot of you are going to have a lot of brand presence already. Great. And we'll just build upon that. And investors will also ask questions through the discussion boards. So it might be that you're engaging with people already whilst the raise is happening. These things are really important. The project gets funded, and then we've got to finish off the paperwork with you as a fundraiser as well. Loan agreements, shareholder agreements, that type of stuff. Once that's done and it's all sorted, we'll basically release the funds to you. So that's simply the process. There's lots of benefits for fundraisers. FCA compliant environment. We'll do the paperwork so you don't have to. So managing 1 or 2 investors, possibly manageable if you're allowed to do it. What about 100? What about 200? What about 1,000? That's when it starts changing. And it's possible because it's online. We'll help you build your presence. So many of our developers have previous projects, seriously, but no one knows about them. So the thing with crowdfunding is it becomes very public very quickly. And it's a wonderful, wonderful space to be. And you can do more projects. You as a fundraiser, if you've got 500,000 to invest, and you put it into one project, you do one project. What if you could put 100,000 into 5 projects and get the rest from the crowd? Would that be interesting? This is what crowdfunding allows you to do. And there's a lot more. We've done loads of different project types. Commercial to residential, mixed-use developments, title splits, refurbs, HMOs. The grey ones are actually our peer-to-peer loan projects, and the copper ones are our equity projects. And all the historical information is on the site, so you can go and have a look. The 1.55 million was raised, so Hackney Road, we'll talk about that, was raised in 17 minutes by 25 people. It was brilliant. It was really, really good. The GDV of that project is 7.235 million, and its B1 office to C3 residential. So all this information is on the site. You can go and have a look at past projects. Build your brand. This is a penultimate thing which I have 2 minutes to do. It's really important to build your brand. 3 reasons. Trust. Why is trust important? People buy from people, right? If you trust a brand, so let's talk about mobile phones. I might be with the EE, and Vodafone do me a better deal. Would I jump to Vodafone? Probably not, as long as I'm getting the service from EE. And this is what the people piece, and this is why the trust piece is really important. Okay? People. In terms of building your brand, everyone has to live and breathe it, and we will work with you to make sure it's congruent. It's really important. And then the return on investment is future-proofing your business. If people love what you do, if you have one investor who's been funding all your projects, what if that person goes? If you've got 200 investors or 500 investors who are following you, what are the chances that all of them are going to pour their money at the same time? It's a lot less. So there are reasons for doing it. There's so much communication choice out there. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, you name it. My background is in communication. I live and breathe this stuff. You might have heard the stat that says you have to see something 7 times before it even registers. Have you seen that? Huh?
I have to see something many times to.
Right. The thing is, 7 times. If you saw my logo 7 times, it might register. The thing with it is because of all these additional communication channels, that number's gone up to 38. So you have to do something different in order to stand out and shine. And we will work with you to achieve that. Final takeaways. For fundraisers, stay compliant, please. Whatever you do, if you're unsure, just have a look. Ask questions if you're not sure. There'll be someone who will be able to tell you. Build a community online. Develop long-term relationships and get creative about finance. This space is wonderful, and I genuinely think that crowdfunding and peer-to-peer lending is going to be the norm in 10 years' time. It's democratizing the property market. And so, even if it's not right for you today, keep it in your back pocket and watch it. Because as a property person, it will become relevant if it's not already. For investors, Investor platform, choose your investments. Get involved with the ones that you want to learn about, or work with developers you want to work with. Build a portfolio more online and learn whilst investing, and actually have fun whilst doing it. It's really important. Embrace the property crowd experience. I love it. Every day I wake up and I think this is amazing, because I genuinely think it's going to change how property is transacted in the UK. If you want to find out more, Devin and I will be around for a bit. Just have a look at the website. Take a look. You have to be registered in order to get access to all the information, but it's all there for past projects and existing ones. Thank you very much.